Because you remember that before I started this class, I gave you the notice that you have to come very, very prepared for my class. Okay, so whenever you come to my class, you be prepared. Otherwise, whole exercise will be lost. Okay, we are doing so much effort for you. If you don't study, if you just do not take it very, very seriously, then there's no point in coming to my class. Hello everyone, welcome to my online classes. I'm Javed Nehal and we are going to analyze the poem Asleep in the Valley. It's written by Arthur Rimbaud. As usual, we will start with a quick look at the life and the works of Arthur Rimbaud. The full name of Arthur Rimbaud is Jean-Nicolas Arthur Rimbaud. He was a French poet. He started writing poetry right from his school days. He also gave up creative writing at the age of 20 after completing his major works titled Illuminations. The work of Rimbaud are considered as the most original in the symbolist movement. The poem Asleep in the Valley is actually a translated work of Rimbaud's French poem titled Le Dormeur de Vol, which in English means the sleeper of the valley. The original French manuscript shows that Rimbaud wrote it in October 1870. At that time, he was only 16 years old. Asleep in the Valley is a war poem linked to Franco-Prussian War, which was fought between the Second French Empire and the Kingdom of Prussia. Let's move to the poem. Asleep in the Valley is a lyrical poem written in the form of a sonnet. A sonnet, as we know, consists of 14 lines with a particular rhyme scheme. So let's check the rhyme scheme of this poem. Now, if you really have to find out the rhyme scheme of this poem, then we can see that in the first stanza, bright and lights are actually the rhyming words. And in the second stanza, head and bed. Now this completes our octet part. In the sestet part, we find that smile and guile are the rhyming words and rest and breast. So the rhyme scheme of this poem is A, B, C, B, A, B, C, B, D, D, E, D, D, E. So this what makes it a Petrarchan or Italian sonnet. Let us analyze this poem in detail. The poem Asleep in the Valley is very strong in imagery and symbolism. The poem starts with a description of a small green valley. The valley as described in the first stanza is stunningly beautiful. It is covered with thick bushes and ferns and flowers of different shapes and sizes and colors growing all over the places. There is a small river making its way slowly through the valley. In the broad daylight, the watery course of the river looks like a string of silver on the bright grass. The sun peeps through the tall mountains and fills up the deep valley with its lovely light. In fact, the heart-warming landscape, the lush green meadow, the slow stream, and the bright sun makes it a most picturesque valley. The second stanza shows a soldier lying stretched in the valley. The soldier is very young in age. With his mouth wide open, he seems to be lost in a deep sleep. It looks as if he has been taking a rest after some tiring work in battlefield. The young soldier sleeps comfortably in a bed provided by nature. The ferns act like a pillow for his head, and the heavy undergrowth of the valley as a soft cushion for his rest. He is sleeping comfortably on it. The heat of the sun is keeping his bed warm. His face looks pale and is not as bright as the other objects around him. As he sleeps, his feet are placed among flowers, and there is a gentle and innocent smile on his face. It's like the smile of a newborn baby, pure and free from all sins. As the soldier is lying in open air, the nature is called upon to keep him warm so that he doesn't catch cold. There are insects humming all around, but they have made it a point not to disturb the sleeping soldier. The young soldier continues enjoying his sleep in peace. He has one hand placed on his chest. In the last line, the line of vision narrows down onto his side, and we find there are two red holes. Now, these holes are of gunshot wounds. Now we realize that the soldier is not sleeping, but his body is lying lifeless in the valley, full of life and beauty. The sleep of the young soldier is eternal, and he will never wake up. The poem Asleep in the Valley conveys the central idea that wars and battles and such other forms of violence are threats to human race. And Rimbaud conveys this idea to the readers through the depiction of a very young soldier lying lifeless amidst nature full of life and beauty. The whole nature seems to mourn and condole the death of this very young soldier. The elements of nature, such as ferns, flowers, sun, insects, offering comfort to the sleeping soldier, is not just a simple mark of tribute to the fallen soldier, but also a reflection of the fact that mindless acts of violence are against the call and order of nature, hence must be done away with. Now, apart from this central idea, this poem also has many more poetic elements. Let us see what other elements are here, and for that purpose, we are going for the critical analysis of the poem. Now, here comes the critical analysis of the poem. Let's make a critical estimate of this poem. The theme of the poem is futility of war, which is conveyed through the portrayal of the soldier's body lying lifeless in the middle of the valley, teeming with life and beauty. The horrible death of this very young and innocent soldier underlines the fact that a war is nothing but an organized butchery of young boys. There is no bravery in killing or getting killed in a war, and that it must be prevented at all cost. Next, we find that this poem is also very rich in imagery. Rimbaud creates rich imagery through the description of picturesque landscape, slow moving stream, lush green meadow, flowers of different shapes and sizes and colors, the sun peeking from above the tall mountains and soaking the entire valley with its bright light presents a really heartwarming picture. Nature's sound in the valley can also be heard from the insects humming all around. Now, if we talk about the figurative speeches, then this poem also has many figurative speeches. And the first being simile. The expression, his smile is like an infant, is an example of simile. Here, the quality of being as innocent as a newborn baby get transferred to the soldier. In fact, it speaks volume for this young soldier that he has committed no sin and the killing of this soldier is a heinous crime against humanity. Apart from the simile, there are also other comparisons in the poem. The rays of the sun flowing like a stream of water is an example of metaphor. Again, the stream of water being compared with silver of a strand is another example of a metaphor here. Now, there are also personification in this poem. The nature, like an affectionate mother, provides all the comfort to the sleeping soldier. The next is irony. The readers realizing at the end that the soldier, contrary to the plan or expectation, is not sleeping but is actually dead is an example of irony. The title of the poem, Asleep in the Valley, has also been used in ironical sense. The soldier in the poem is a victim of war and his sleep has been induced by death. The poet uses this figurative speech of irony to express the atrocities of war and its futility. The poem also has a shocking end. In the last line, the readers receive a shocking jolt when they realize that the soldier is not sleeping but is actually dead. It gives the poem a complete shocking end. Now, one interesting thing about this poem is that it has contrasting images. We find that most images used in the poem are actually contrasting pictures, are contrasting in natures. For example, the green deep hole of the valley in the opening line shrinks into a hollow of two red holes of bullet wounds in the closing line. Again, the color red and the green are also contrasting things. The sleep of the soldier in the poem is not induced by life but by death. The soldier, looking pale and discolored, also stand in sharp contrast with the abundant, colorful life that exists in the valley. Last but not the least is symbolism. The poem also employs various symbols. The infant like smile on the soldier's face describes his purity and innocence. The nature is spreading its bed for the soldier's comfort, the sun keeping it warm, flowers kissing the soldier's feet, and the insect not disturbing him in his sleep are very, very deep symbols denoting nature's tribute and homage to the martyred soldier. And of course, the two red holes in the end is another symbol for his death. With this, we come to the end of this session. Thank you for watching my show. If you have any question or queries, you can write directly to me. My email address is javednehal@ymail.com. You can also visit my website. The link has been given in the description box. For more updates, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much.